They told you pasta was born in Italy. They painted the picture so vividly you could taste it. Rolling green hills scattered with olive trees, a grandmother, her apron ghosted with flour, shaping dough slowly, as if time itself waited for her hands to finish. The kitchen windows open, letting in the scent of garlic sizzling in olive oil, basil crushed, the faint sweetness of ripe tomatoes. But the truth is older, harsher, and inconvenient. It's a tale that stretches across continents, crosses deserts, sails through storms, and survives empires rising and falling. And by the time you've heard it, you'll realize pasta is not just food. It's a traveler, a survivor, a shapeshifter. Long before a single plate of spaghetti was twirled in Rome, before the first tomato ever touched Italian soil, there was another world, far away. 4,000 years ago, along the banks of China's Yellow River, the earth was dry and cracked. The wind carried with it the dust of faraway mountains, rattling through fields of millet and wheat, coaxing life from the reluctant soil. Inside a small clay-walled kitchen, a cook worked in silence. His hands, rough from years of labor, pressed dough against a smooth stone slab. He rolled it thin, pulled it into strands with practiced speed, and dropped them into a pot of boiling water. The scent rose with the steam, nutty, earthy, primal. These noodles were not made for feasts or celebrations. They were born of necessity. They stretched the harvest into winter. They fed soldiers on the march. They kept families alive when the rivers froze and the fields lay bare. Over centuries, this craft evolved. In northern China, the noodles were thick and firm, made from wheat to withstand the cold. In the south, they became soft, slippery ribbons spun from rice, light enough for the humid air. Then came the Silk Road, not a single path, but a vast weave of arteries connecting China to Persia, India, Arabia, and beyond. Caravans creaked under the weight of silk, jade, and porcelain. Ships carried glass, spices, ivory. But hidden between the bolts of fabric and sacks of pepper were other treasures. Recipes, techniques, ways of preserving food that could endure journeys of months or even years. Somewhere along this invisible current, the noodle began to drift westward. By the 8th century CE, the trail leads us to the Arab world. It became Eritrea, long thin strands made from durum wheat. Perfect for storage, perfect for survival, for traders who crossed the vast sands, for sailors who faced months at sea, this food was nothing short of miraculous. The Arabs were not just merchants, they were cultural architects. They carried more than goods. They carried ideas. In 827 CE, Arab ships landed in Sicily. What they brought was more than armies, the noodle. Sicily, it was the beating heart of Mediterranean trade. From its shores, one could see ships from Africa, the Middle East, and Europe crowding its harbors. Perfect for growing durum wheat. It was also perfect for drying pasta. In Sicilian kitchens, it began to change. It slipped into local feasts. It was rolled, cut, shaped into loops and tubes. And it didn't take long before it became part of the island's own food identity. When the Normans conquered Sicily in the 11th century, they took more than territory. They took its food traditions with them. And thus, pasta began to crawl north, into Naples, Florence, Venice, Rome. But the pasta of medieval Italy was not the pasta you know today. There was no tomato sauce to crown it. The tomato, still in South America, had yet to begin its voyage across the sea. Instead, pasta was served with olive oil, fresh herbs, grated cheese, and sometimes even sweetened with sugar, raisins, and cinnamon. Then came the late 15th century. Spanish ships returned from the Americas with strange fruits and vegetables never before seen in Europe. Among them, the tomato. At first, Europeans mistrusted it. Its bright red skin and green leaves, resembled deadly nightshade. It was beautiful, but dangerous, they thought. For decades, it was grown only as an ornamental plant, admired for its color but never tasted. It wasn't until the 17th century that daring cooks began to experiment. Slowly, suspicion gave way to affection, and when tomatoes met pasta, the union was explosive. By the 18th century, pasta and tomato sauce had become inseparable, as if they had been destined for each other from the start. From there, the myth took root. Italy embraced pasta as its culinary crown jewel. The Arab origins faded into obscurity. The Chinese beginnings disappeared entirely. The story became simple. Pasta was Italian. But in 1936, the truth tried to return. Historian Luigi Sada uncovered records proving that pasta had been introduced to Sicily by the Arabs. He published his findings, expecting lively debate. Instead, there was silence. Italy was under Mussolini's fascist regime. National pride was non-negotiable. Admitting that one of Italy's most treasured symbols had foreign roots was unthinkable. Sada's work was quietly ignored. Textbooks left it out. The lie endured. Yet, food remembers. The best pasta wheat still grows in the same lands the Arabs once prized. Certain Sicilian pasta names still carry echoes of Arabic. And if you follow the trail of flavor, olive oil, spices, wheat, you can still taste the journey from the banks of the Yellow River, across the deserts, into the heart of Italy. In the 20th century, pasta left Italy altogether. Immigrants carried it to New York, Buenos Aires, Sydney. Factories reshaped it into endless forms: spaghetti, penne, fusilli, macaroni, and shipped it by the ton. Every culture painted it in its own colors. Ramen in Japan, macaroni pie in the Caribbean, baked ziti in the Bronx, pasta salad in Midwest backyards. Today, pasta is an $8 billion industry, eaten in every corner of the globe. It sits in royal banquets and lunchboxes, on silver platters, and in styrofoam cups. It has survived wars, migrations, famine, and fashion. And yet, ask the world where pasta was born, and most will still smile and say, Italy. The truth is far richer. Pasta was born in China, hardened in the deserts of Arabia, perfected in the kitchens of Italy, and adopted by the world. It is more than a dish. It is history you can hold in your hands. And maybe that is the real beauty of food. It doesn't belong to where it begins. It belongs to where it's loved.